Big shout out to Sporting Icons, best channel out there.
Okay, so the WBA, as always, are the first out the blocks with their new ratings, their new rankings. This one we'll talk about the heavyweight division, of course, as I do each and every month with the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, the WBO, and the Ring Magazine. As and when they make changes, you guys will always be the first to know about them, so make sure you are subscribed. Who else does this on YouTube? Who else? Especially as good as I do it, right? Okay, anyway, please click that subscribe button. Now, the top 15, I'm going to go through it right now. So, Oleksandr Usyk is the WBA Super Champion. Dubois is the WBA Regular Champion. Number 1, Michael Hunter. Number 2, Robert Helenius. Number 3, Hughie Fury. Number 4, Martin Bakole. Number 5, Anthony Joshua. Number 6, Arsenbek Makhmadov. Number 7, Lenier Perro. Number 8, Trevor Bryan. Number 9, Luis Ortiz. Number 10, Zan Kosabuski. Number 11, Lucas Browne. Number 12, Ajit Cabello. Number 13, Kevin Lerena. Number 14, Jarrell Miller. And number 15, Ivan DeCecco. So that's the top 15 for the WBA for the month of October. Dropped out this month is Otto Wallin. He was number 12 last month, and now he's been dropped for reasons unbeknownst to me. Okay, I don't know why he's been dropped. He hasn't lost a fight or anything like that. He hasn't really been that inactive. He has fought not so long ago. So quite why he's been dropped out, I can only presume it's down to the sanction fee. Maybe he didn't pay a sanction fee this month. But fresh insert is Luis Ortiz into the number 9 position. Luis Ortiz, who just got beaten up, really, dropped multiple times against Andy Ruiz Jr. and only managed to win some rounds because Ruiz Jr. wasn't too sure about his own gas tank with him being so inactive. Luis Ortiz looked terrible. Old man legs gone. Gets inserted into number 9 after coming off a loss. How do you get inserted from being last month not in the top 15 to losing a fight and then get put into the top 15? How does that work? PBC favours anyone? You know it. But no great changes really, and you could argue number 5, Anthony Joshua. Is that now too high? Because he's come off back-to-back losses to Oleksandr Usyk. But again, Oleksandr Usyk, he is pound for pound number 1 according to many people and many websites, and he didn't shame himself, especially in the rematch. He looked pretty good at times. So again, he's former WBA World Heavyweight Champion. So number 5, probably a fair position as of right now, right? Number 1, Michael Hunter versus number 3, Hughie Fury. That was supposed to take place pretty soon, but something's happened and now it's going to be rescheduled. That I'm hearing November the 26th. This is some inside intel right there. November the 26th. I don't know what city they're looking at or town. Is it going to be Birmingham, potentially? But we'll have to wait for official confirmation of that one, so don't take my word for it right now. We are going to have to wait for official confirmation. Other than that, no great changes. But again, I don't agree with number 11, Lucas Browne, being in the top 15 of WBA. I don't care if he's the Australasian champion, Oceania champion, whatever you want to call him. He's not a top 15 fighter. He's not. Number 7, Lenier Perro. He's only had 8 fights, beating journeyman. He shouldn't be there. I don't care if he's some form of American champion from Cuba or whatever. I don't care what he is. He shouldn't be in the top 15 after only 8 fights and not beating anybody of note. Lenier Perro should not be in the top 15. Number 14, Big Baby Jarrell Miller. How do you fight journeymen after, 2-3 years out of the ring, failing PD tests on a couple of occasions, come back and get ranked into the top 15 of the WBA? How does that work? It doesn't work. Now, I can understand it if Jarrell Miller defeated somebody in the top 15 and then maybe took their place. I can understand that. But when you're taking on journeymen like Bracamonte and whatever else, you don't get into the top 15. Jarrell Miller shouldn't be in the top 15. Listen, he's undefeated. He's 25-0 with 1 draw. But that's not top 15 credentials as of recent history. It isn't. Now, if Miller was to take on somebody in the top 15 and defeat them, okay, that would justify. But right now, I don't think that he should be in top 15, in my opinion. Number 6, Arsenbek Makhmudov. Of course, he's recently defeated Carlos Takam on points. Makhmudov, listen, I've been saying for quite some time, he's a big, scary man. He is. He's like Joe Joyce. Okay, if Joe Joyce is Michael Myers, then Makhmudov is Jason Voorhees. Okay, these two will just kill us in our nightmares. Okay, they really will. But Makhmudov, good victory over Takam for sure, but he did have some wobbly moments in that fight. He did. So he showed a bit of vulnerability against Takam. But again, Takam is a very seasoned veteran, so of course he knows his way around the ring, if I can speak, like Jonathan Ross there. But Makhmudov, I think he needs one of these big fights now. He needs to fight somebody in this top 15 now. To be ranked number 6 is a little too high based on his resume. Now, don't get me wrong, he has defeated some okay opponents. Again, he's 15-0, okay? Much like Joe Joyce, right? So you kind of have to really sum it up. And I think Makhmudov versus Joe Joyce will be a great fight. A Makhmudov versus Martin Piccoli will be a great fight. A Makhmudov versus Luis Ortiz, listen, we all know he's going to win that one. Makhmudov would literally put Luis Ortiz into not only early retirement, or late retirement even, but he'd put him into a box 6 feet under. He really would. So I'd like to see Makhmudov take on somebody in his top 15, but there are a lot of stiffs in this top 15. Speaking of which, number 8, Trevor Bryan, former WBA regular world heavyweight champion, who should not have been world heavyweight champion. We know that WBA, with their relationship with Don King, awarded him that belt and gave him a couple of stiffs to keep the belt. Then, of course, he fought down Dubois. Didn't even throw a punch, did he? Maybe threw one body shot and ultimately got knocked out by down Dubois. That is not number 8 worthy in the WBA. But we know why they're doing it, because he's a Don King fighter, right? Would Trevor Bryan defeat anybody in his top 15? One of them. Just one of them. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Every single one of them will probably knock him out. Or certainly beat him. So no, I don't think that Trevor Bryan should be there. So overall, his top 15 for the WBA for the month of October. Is it a good top 15? No, it's not. It's a terrible top 15. Now, don't get me wrong, it's an improvement, which is saying something, right? It's an improvement over some top 15s that they have put out in recent months and over like the last year or two. They've had like Bogdan Dinu in number 1 and Bermane Stiverne right up there, even though he come off back-to-back losses and allowed him to fight Trevor Bryan for the vacant WBA title and all that kind of stuff. Mark Demori was in there recently and whatever. I'm surprised they haven't put Manuel Char in there, but again, Manuel Char and WBA, they're going through some kind of legal case right now. Terrible rankings. The WBA, they need to get gone out of boxing, to be honest with you. I don't like the WBA at all. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.